Announce it. Okay. I'm checking if everything is working fine. It seems it does, yeah. Let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it seems it's very 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Yep. Let me see. Okay, it seems everything is working fine. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I will sit into my original position here. Let us know if everything is working fine. I have so many cables here. Okay. Let us know, ladies and gentlemen, if we can start. Hölgyek, urak, tudassátok velünk, ha kezdhetünk. Jó a videó, hang. Hope that the video and the audio quality is good enough. Let us know. Let us know if everything is working fine and we can start. I will double check again. And we can start. Okay, double check again. Hero is saying that we are good to go. Okay. Okay. Let me know if we can start. Let me know. Yohann. Let me know. Nice.
That's cool.
So welcome everyone in the very new episode of my Dev Live show. I'm today joined with Yohann Piga, aka Boumsee. I hope that I'm pronouncing your name right. Let me know if not.
Perfect. Perfect.
Thank you for that. I was preparing for that. And yeah, I'm very honored. I'm very honored and very thankful that you joined us for today's episode of my Dev Live show. And like I'm always saying, let's start with a little bit of introduction. So please introduce yourself for us.
Well, as you said, my name is Yohann Piga.
Okay.
But I go by I'm mostly known with the name Boumsee.
Okay.
I'm French. I live in France. And right now I'm mostly, I've done a lot of stuff in my life. But lately I've been mostly a 2D artist and concept artist in video games for some video game company.
I see.
And basically, yeah, I did that mostly all my life, but not all the time as a professional.
I see.
It's only been 5 or 6 years where I can live with that occupation.
I see.
But before I've done plenty of stuff, some jobs in hotels and stuff.
I see.
But it's not.
I see.
So yeah, that's what I am right now, and I try, but it's I try to survive because it's a really competitive place.
True.
It's really hard. So and actually, right now I'm I'm full time on the game.
I see.
On my own expenses because I really wanted to make the game, and I didn't have that much work, so I just said, let's do a game. I want to make that game, so let's do that game. And never mind with the money and stuff.
Love that. Okay.
That's who I am.
I see. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. So my very first question would be, what was your very first contact with video games as a player, if you remember those times of your past?
So yeah, I'm 43.
Okay.
So it goes way back in the 80s.
You look young. I can tell you that.
Yeah, thank you. So my first experience with video games was, I don't know if you know if it's gonna talk to you, but it was on a computer.
Okay.
And that computer was called the MO5.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know that computer. It's a French computer. Actually,
we learned about it in IT university, yeah. But I didn't have one, so yeah.
Yeah, it was really bad actually. And so my first experience was with that, and I was really young. So it was a French
Okay.
computer financed by the French government,
Okay.
and they really pushed people to buy this kind of
I
computers.
see.
And so my parents bought one, and I think it was around 85 or 86, and I must have been like 5 years old or 6 years old. And it was a really primitive computer with cassettes, audio cassettes to run the program. And but it was not. I had 2 or 3 games. There was
Okay.
a soccer game, a tennis game, and they were pretty bad. It was really limited, and I didn't really like it actually at that time. It was my first experience, but it wasn't really a good experience.
I see.
It
I see.
doesn't really click in my head at that time. So yeah, my first experience was the MO5, but there was something important with that computer. It's that it came with a cassette with exercise for basic language. I don't know if you know basic
Yeah, I
language.
do. I do. I do. We used to program in that at university.
Yeah, actually at the time it was really good language
Yeah.
to programming and to learn how to program
True. True.
algorithm and
True.
stuff.
True.
And so not when I was 5 or 6, but a bit later when I was around 10, I started to get interested in that cassette because I didn't know what it was. At first I didn't understand. And then I put it, I thought I'm gonna try this. And there were basic exercise. So I started coding actually at that time thanks to that computer. So it was not all that bad actually.
Yeah.
And and I learned a lot at that time thanks to that computer. But for video games, it was really, really bad and really primitive.
I
So it
see.
was not a good experience
I see.
as a player.
I see. And after that, what was like the better experience, if you can talk about that? Like, what was the first good experience with video games as a player then?
So I remember vividly my
Okay.
first experience. It was I was going to my grandparents, and my cousin was already there, and I came into the room, and he was playing on a Nintendo NES.
Okay.
And he was play at first. I really at that time I really didn't think that video games were could interest me or be good
I see.
because of the MO5. And then I saw him play. It was
Okay.
Trojan.
Okay.
It was a NES game, but it came.
Okay.
There's an arcade version with by Capcom. It's
Okay.
Capcom.
Okay.
And I saw him play that game. It was a post-apocalyptic in a city, and you had a sword shield, and you was bashing people, and you were going into the sewers and stuff. And I saw that, and it was like really like my mind blew up. I thought, man, that's amazing. The boss, the design and stuff,
Yeah.
that it was full of story and like even there was no story, but all the graphics, the character, you could feel that there was a story behind it, and that you were living in that universe. And it was crazy. I loved it. And yeah, so that was my first experience, and I had to have a Nintendo NES. And when I saw that, I was crazy about that. And but unfortunately, no, well, fortunately or unfortunately, my parents bought me a Master System after that.
I see.
And so I had a Master System, which was really good. It's a really good system. It's really underrated. But at the time, I was a bit disappointed. But then I played the game. It was really nice. It was amazing. And so that was the beginning of my career as a player,
I
as
see.
video game.
I see. I see. I see. You mentioned, by the way, before that it really took you a lot of years to start or to make the first step in order to uh, have this video game career of yours as a game developer and also an artist in character design and comic design. What could cause that effect that it really took you a lot of years working in other territories, but not in this field that now you are working in?
Well, so when I went to university, I went to the university to do computing, to
Okay,
do programming.
okay, okay, okay.
But when I was around 18, but it was really, really bad. It was like at the time there was no video game section.
I see.
It was programming for factories, for
I
industry.
see, I see, I
You
see, I see.
And I was so not interested by that. It was really boring. And so as a programmer, my career didn't go on because of that,
I see.
and also because in art it was because I was really bad actually. It took me a lot of time to learn to actually have my art interest people,
I
because I
see.
was really bad. And also, it was different time. There was internet was not that much. You couldn't get really in touch with people. Oh,
I
my
see.
cat is. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
And so it was quite difficult, and I was pretty bad at what I was doing, and there was and my the society was telling me that I wouldn't have a career in art
I
because
see.
it was slightly more difficult,
I see.
and you couldn't get. I wanted to do it, but everyone was telling me, "Don't do that because you're gonna have it's gonna be too difficult. You won't have any money." And
I
so I
see.
just and I had a girlfriend and stuff, and well, life. I had to deal with life. Actually, I had to
I
get a
see.
real job
I see.
and go to have a real diploma, and I had to deal with life actually. So that's why it took me so much
I
time
see. I see.
uh, to really go into it.
I see.
But I was always drawing and trying a bit.
So you never left. It was just for you, right? It's a hobby. More of that was, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but it's a constant struggle. It could end anytime. It's
True.
always you always have to look for people to try to get jobs and stuff. It's not easy. It's still not easy.
True. True. True.
So
True. 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 And what
so yeah,
was?
but
No, go for
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Go. No, go for that. Go for that. Sorry.
Oh, it's just really nice, and it's amazing to do what you want to do.
True.
Uh,
True.
Even if it's just for a short amount of time,
True.
you still accomplish
True.
stuff that you wanted to do
There's
in
a
your
very good
childhood.
feeling about that,
Yeah,
right? That you're doing what you
that's
want
really
to
nice.
do and what you have talent in and passion. Yeah. Yeah. And what was the first click when you like realized that okay, now I really have to take the first step in order to have it as a career and as a dream to make or to achieve?
Well, it came. So I've been working. I was working in hotels,
Okay.
and, uh, and it was really nice. Actually, it was really a nice experience for like 12 years. I think I've
Okay.
worked in hotels, and then, but on the side, I was doing comics and
I see.
stuff for people like posters and stuff. And there was some more and more people interested a bit. And then I went to the hotel where the I wasn't really getting along with the boss,
Okay.
so there was some frictions, and I was a bit tired of working in a hotel.
I see.
And then I made a comic, and it got picked up by an editor,
Nice.
and so I may have been earned money from that. Well, there was an opportunity,
I see.
and I had some offers to work to draw. So I left the hotel because I was tired. It was a good. The things were going
Set
into place in
apart,
a
yeah,
way.
or place, yeah.
I was tired of the hotel. It wasn't working out, and I had opportunities in art, so I just dived right in, and
Nice.
uh, and yeah, I was really lucky, uh, and yeah, that's how it worked
I see.
basically.
I
Because
see.
and I think that when you arrive at around 40, you start to think about what you want to do in life, what you've done in your life, and what you
True.
want to do.
True. True. True.
And so even the smallest push to go to your dream, you take it because you think I've got only one life, so I must do that. I must
True.
go.
True. Very
Even if
true.
it's just for 5 years or 6 years, even if tomorrow I have to take another job,
True.
it's fine because I've done a lot of stuff that I wanted to do,
True. Very
and I'm
true. Very true. Very
that's how it
true.
happened.
Thank you. Thank you again for your honesty. I appreciate that. You mentioned that when you were younger and you wanted to work in this territory, but you still like couldn't because everyone was telling you no. By these like declinations and also people telling you no, have you been questioning yourself by through those times when like you wasn't working in this territory, and after you like take the first step in order to work in this territory for video games, comics, and everything that you have passion for and talent for, were you like still questioning yourself or no?
You mean before? What was
Yeah,
I questioning before?
before and after. Yeah, before and after. Question goes to
Uh,
this to life cycles that you mentioned.
you mean questioning about the career stuff
Yeah,
or
the career
about?
stuff. Yeah, 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 that you can make it in there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not really.
Okay,
Well, before I questioned myself, but then I tried it a bit and I saw that it wasn't really working. So at one point, I just thought, okay, that's not for me, and I stopped questioning myself.
I see, I see, I
And
see,
it's more when you arrive. I had some health issues, like really hard stuff
I see, I
that
see,
helped at around when I told at around 40. It's the same stuff. I was getting 40, and I had some really serious health
I
issues.
see. I'm sorry to hear that, by the
All
way.
that stuff, it makes you question yourself, question your life, and so at the beginning there was points where I didn't question myself, but then when stuff happens and you get older, you question yourself and then you do it. And now I right now, yeah, I'm questioning myself because it's really hard, and I don't have that much money. I could make more money by having a regular job. It's really hard to get. You don't have a proper job actually. You just have some small gigs. It's gigs after gig after gig after gig,
Yeah,
like small jobs.
like surviving in the wild.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of surviving. So you have to learn to live that way, to accept to live that way, to accept that you won't have any money, you won't be rich, except if you're really lucky or you're really good, you won't be rich. And it can be, yeah, I could sometimes I think that I could have a proper job and I will make more money and it will be easier and I won't have to look out for stuff for jobs all the time. So yeah, as I told you, maybe next year I will do something different. But I will always be working. I will always be doing art or video games or music. I also do music. But maybe I will have to have a proper job, and because it will be easier this way.
I see.
Uh, because yeah, for personally, it's a constant struggle. You
True,
always
true,
it's
true,
surviving.
true,
But
true.
it's nice. You do stuff that you really like and you accomplish stuff, but there's a price to be paid. Is that you're always in surviving mode.
True, true,
You're-
true, true, true. That's the
and it's not
game. That's the game that you're
it's a
setting
game.
yourself in, right? We could
Actually,
say a constant survival game. Nice, 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 nice. Okay. So when you took the first step of being a game developer and also like make art for companies for money, uh, were your family and close friends supportive about this decision of yours?
Well, my friends, they were supporting me. Actually, they were just, yeah, that's good for you.
Okay,
There was no question
okay,
asked.
okay,
That's good for you.
okay.
My family was, no, I don't know. They weren't fine with it.
I
I
see.
think there was, yeah, because they knew that I didn't want because I was tired of regular jobs,
I
and
see.
and I had a bad experience, and I had some problems in health. They knew that I was, in a way, it was really serious. So
I see.
at one point, I had to understand that I didn't want to have a life, a regular life,
Yeah.
as we say. That I was not interested in it. I wanted to do stuff.
True. True.
And
True. Understandable.
I
Yeah.
think but I was actually surprised that my parents, particularly because my parents are really old and they are from a different time. It's they don't understand what's happening now because they are really old. And so I was pretty surprised when I told them, and they just said fine, because when I talked about it like 10, 20 years before, they were totally against it. They said, no, no, you can't do that. You're going to waste your life. And now that they accepted it. And it was really nice, actually, because I was expecting a fight or something that I would have to fight my way and to say, no, that's what I want to do. And actually, they just said, oh, that's fine. Okay, do what you want. So I was pretty surprised. But they were really nice and really cool.
Nice
So
to
it
hear
was,
that.
I was happy.
Do you think, by the way, that it's important to have a supportive background mentally in order to like be able to be there for yourself and chasing your
Yeah, of course.
dreams? Okay.
Yeah, because it's yeah, because you can't have people telling you around that you should find a proper job, you should find a proper job, you should find. It's really annoying, and
True,
because
true.
they don't understand you, they can't understand you because it's even now people don't really understand me because me, I can spend hours and hours just drawing or just programming or just doing music, and the even sometimes not seeing anyone for what, for two
It's a
3 days.
lonely
Then
road, right? The lonely road of the artist. Yeah.
but I'm really happy. I'm really happy when sometimes I've got a weekend, I've got nothing on the weekend, my friends are not here, and I'm really happy because I'm gonna spend 2 days with no, well, just doing what I want to do, and I really like it. And people don't understand it. They said, "How can you spend so much time alone, just doing that stuff?" So, but they accept it, but they don't really understand it. What I like in that,
True, true, true,
So
true.
I think if people are not into it, they don't really understand it. They
Yeah.
accept it, but don't understand it.
Yeah, and also I think that a lot of people like probably every one of us like have talent in something. I believe in that, but a lot of people are like giving up their standards of having like chasing their dream because of the society standards and what society tells us to do. And that's how they end up like being at their 30s and 40s, like starting to realizing that okay, I have now a stable job and I have a house and a family and everything that society tells us to have, but still I'm not happy with my life. So it's very true what you said, and I've seen a lot of like people being that, and it's understandable, right? Because as a kid we all have dreams, right? Or we all realize what we are interested in, but yeah, it's hard to chase those dreams if you are not trying it, if people tells us not to chase those because it's risky. But yeah, at the end of the
Yeah,
day we
yeah.
will feel empty if you do not do that, right? So
Yeah, but actually, there are some people don't have dreams. I know people who don't have dreams, so
yeah, true,
they're
true, true.
some people their dream is to have a family, and
True.
that's fine.
Which is fine. Yeah, yeah. I'm not saying it's not it's bad or something. Yeah, exactly. It's fine. It's just like yeah, yeah. I still have a feeling that's or I hope so that everyone would like to like
Yeah,
you know
I hope too.
chase their talents or be good at something. But who knows? Who knows? I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
it's just that everyone has their own goals,
True, 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 true,
and sometimes just enjoying life,
true,
going on vacation, and
true,
going on
true. Very true.
holidays.
Very true. Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Very true.
so,
Very true.
but yeah, actually, it's something I think. That when you're around 40, when you pass the 40 mark, you have to generally that's, well, you can see it in everyday life. There are people, they are getting divorced or something. People are
Yeah.
re-evaluating their
Yeah,
lives.
exactly, exactly. Yeah,
It can
yeah,
be in your relationships or in your
exactly,
work, and
exactly,
everyone
exactly.
has their own goals. And but that's really true that
True.
yeah, at one point you have to, because when you're young you think that you have plenty of time. You
Yeah,
always think,
exactly, exactly.
and then when
You
you arrive at
realize that
40,
you don't, and time
you
pass
don't
by
have
very
the time.
fast, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So, but what everybody, I'm not judge. The thing is, I don't want to judge
No,
anyone.
it's
Everybody
understandable.
does,
Yeah.
and I'm not above anyone.
True,
It's
true, true.
just maybe I'm gonna pray because maybe later I will have to pay a price for getting so little money, and
True.
and maybe later I will have to pay the price for this, and because I don't accumulate that much money. But that's the decision that I've made. Yeah, that's my choice,
True.
and because I want to do that, I want to try this, and I love it. And you have to make decisions. Actually, it's just decision.
True. True.
Uh,
Very true.
so yeah, I don't know.
Very true. Very true. So again, a more personal question from me would be: I believe that all of us creators who create our own craft, we always tend to put our inner soul, experiences of loss, love, anything that we experienced in the past into the craft we make. Is this statement true for your life as an artist and also as a game developer, even if it's music that you craft, even if it's like a character that you design, even if you're programming some gameplay elements for your game?
uh, yeah, actually, you put you even if you don't want to, you put a lot of yourself in anything you do,
Okay.
especially in art. In anything artistic, you put even
True.
if you don't want to, you will put something from you. Uh, Personally, that's I think that's the well the characters. If you're writing some characters or creating some characters, of course there's going to be something from you or something from the people you know, or something that influenced you.
True. 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 True.
And but maybe I think that about personally, I think what I do, and it's not sometimes I didn't know really what was my purpose in art, and it's somebody else who told me that my art was really joyful and really young in a way, and really colorful and
True,
stuff.
true, 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 true.
And I think, but personally, I'm not really like that. I'm not so joyful, and I think it's more a reaction. Personally, I think it's the contrary because I had quite some problems, especially essentially with my health. I had quite some problem. I think it's a reaction to this. I do the contrary of what I've lived.
I see.
I do really funny stuff and really joyful stuff and really motivating stuff in a reaction of what I've lived before.
I see.
And so so yeah, it could be either way. But it's you're always if you do something, it's always something from you, even if it's a
True, true,
reaction,
true, true,
or
true,
if
true,
you're just
true,
saying what you've lived or pouring your emotion.
true,
You
true,
can
true.
personally, I think that I pour the opposite
Yeah,
emotion of what
yeah.
I've lived.
Or
It's just
where you would like to be, right? In a more happier space. We could say that
yeah,
too. Yeah.
yeah. It's a reaction. Yeah, I think it's a reaction with my life and the
True,
world
true,
around
true,
me and
true,
stuff.
true,
It's
true,
just to be joyful and motivated and young in a way.
true, true,
Because I
true.
like
You
to
are
be
still
young.
young.
So.
I was telling you that, and it's true. I meant it to say that. You are still young. Yeah.
But yes, but anyone, you just I don't know. It's a reaction, yeah.
True,
But you have to put something from you. It comes from inside,
true,
so
true,
eventually it will end up in what you do,
true, true,
uh,
true, true,
because that's what you want to do. That you want to
true,
pour yourself into
true,
that. You know.
true, true, very true, very true. So I was wondering what influenced the story of your game that you are working on now. What was the influence behind the story of the game? If you could talk about that a bit. If it's not spoiler, of course, and you are
Oh, yeah. Well, the story at first was now it's more about it would be a big word, but it's more about what's happening around in the world actually.
okay, okay.
Uh, so, well, I'm doing a tactical RPG. So basically, most of tactical RPG are about war.
True, 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 true.
It's always about war, about kingdoms, which are at wars and stuff. And just to, I would say, yeah, it's try to, because what I like in art, it's talking about, it's speaking about what happens now in a
True.
modern world,
True. True.
but in a different setting,
True.
so that you show what's happening now, but in different settings. So the people don't know that you're talking about what's happening now,
True.
and they see, it changed the perspective.
True.
So people they go with a fresh mind. They see what's happening in your story, and they think, man, this is bad, this is wrong, this is good now. And then when they realize that you're actually talking about the world that we live in, that gives them a different view
True.
about the world.
True. True.
And so
True.
basically, that's what because the world, on social media, people are really, really, it's either black or white
True.
about everything
True.
about that's happening in the world. And actually, things are really much more complicated than that.
True. True. True.
And that's what I want to try that's what I want to show in that story, is that things are really complicated,
True. True.
that there's good and bad in everything, and that war doesn't benefit anyone except the people in power, actually.
True. True.
So yeah, it's about
True.
corruption and and the power struggles, and yeah, that's what I would say without spoiling. That's what I can say.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. So I believe that all these RPGs were hard back then in the old school era of RPGs. Are you aiming for like a harder difficulty setting with your game, or is still something that you are like developing out and you are not sure what the goal with the difficulty setting is?
About so games, uh, I don't. It's weird because I don't really like when a game is too hard.
Okay.
But
Okay.
my best remembrance in video games are really hard game. Like when you really struggle, and then when you succeed, you feel so good.
Yeah.
And so I don't really. I would like. I won't make an easy game. That's for sure. Especially since uh, tactical RPGs. There's a series of games that is called Super Robot Tyson.
Okay.
I don't Super Robot Wars.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
a really old tactical RPG with actually it's a mashup of different mecha series. So you've got Evangelion, Gundam,
Okay.
Massacre, and stuff. And it's really old, like 30 years old. And I really like that series. And the first games, like the at the beginning, it was really, really, really hard, like crazy hard. And I finished them, and it was really good. I just felt so good about it. And then through the years, now the games right now, that the last games of that series are just too easy. It's just so easy. It's like you take a unit, you put it on the enemy, it kills the enemy. It's just really boring. And so it's I don't know actually. I think it would be a middle ground. I try to find a
I
middle
see.
ground
I see.
between really hard and really, because when it's too easy, it's just pointless. Like
True. 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 True.
especially on tactical RPG, because
True.
tactical RPG, there is no action. You're just moving
It's not
units,
interesting,
and
right? That way.
it
Yeah.
it gets really stupid. If
True.
it's too
True.
easy,
True.
it's just stupid game. So
True.
it has to be hard a
True.
little bit,
True. Very
but
true.
not too much. I think I'm gonna make a. I didn't really decide about it, but there will be. I'll make different difficulty modes because for people who want an easy stuff or a hard game, I will make some difficulty modes. I haven't thought about it. Well, I thought about the difficulty, but I'm not sure if I should make different modes. If I just
One
do
mode.
one,
Yeah.
and I'll see. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's that's a good question because uh, now I know that if a game is too hard, I get bored. But for tactical RPG, if it's too easy, just really, really bad,
True.
it's really
True.
boring.
True. True.
So I'll see. I'll find a middle ground or do some difficulty levels. I'll see.
I see. I see. We as players, when we will be able to like see a trailer, a demo, or even the full game. Do you have like already plans for these three, like the trailer, a demo, and the full game? Do you have like goals with like the date of these things that I mentioned?
So about that, um, I've made so already I'm posting
Yeah, I
videos
saw
like
those.
nearly
Yeah,
every,
yeah, I saw those. Yeah, yeah.
and so it's not a trailer, but I'm still posting videos. You
Snippets,
see the
snippets.
game.
Yeah,
Uh, I've made because now right now I'm doing the Steam page for the game,
oh, okay. Okay.
and I've made a small trailer, but it's really just a few. It's like 30 seconds,
I see.
and it's not. It's just really edited on the fly.
I see. I
There
see.
are
I see.
no. So yeah, there's a small trailer, but it's really it's not that. I will have to make one. But the trailer there will be one. Like I don't know when actually. I think the thing is, normally I think I should do it in not such well really really in the coming in I think next month there will be a trailer.
Okay.
And
I'm
about
sold. I'm
about
sold. I'm waiting for that.
about the full game. So the full game is the tricky part
Okay.
because so the full game I think so I've like 10 years ago I made a game
Okay.
and I gave myself 1 year to make that game and I really want my goal was to make a huge game, a triple A game. Well, it was all 2D, but HD 2D, and like a really meaty game, but just by myself. And and it was a mess. It was really chaotic, and I made a lot of mistakes. And 1 year was not enough. Actually, I set a goal, and it was I really stuck to that goal, but it was not enough. It was just, and so I rushed the game, and it was not that good. It was really clunky. So so there's one thing is that I don't put a goal because or else
I
I will
see.
have to rush things. And second is that so as I said, I've been working on that game for like 5 months and on my own expenses. And but I don't have unlimited resources.
I see.
So I will have to put it on hold at one point, like in 1 month or 2 months. So and the game won't be finished at that time. I will still be working on it because right now I'm working full time on that game.
I see. I see. I see.
But so I'm going fast. But then I will have to take other jobs, and so the game will be a side
I
will be on
see.
my
I
side.
see. I see. I see.
So it's gonna slow things down a lot. And so I don't know because that's I don't know because if I had if I was full time if I could go full time I think that in 9 months the game will be finished.
I see. I see. I see. I see. I see. So,
Uh,
by the way, sorry for interrupting you. The first game was the same game that now you are working on, or it was a completely totally different game?
it's completely
Oh,
different. It
okay.
was
And is it available somewhere to like try it out? Because, like you said, you finished it and you launched it, but was it like available somewhere to like buy or download or play?
so it's available,
Oh, okay.
but
Where?
I'm really not proud of it. And it had kind of a bad buzz
Let
and
me
stuff.
know where, because I was trying to find like any game that you made and I couldn't. You're not
I,
promoting it, right? I knew that.
so that game, it was really, it was. I didn't know how to program. I didn't. I rushed it,
Let me know.
and
Let me know where I can find it. I need to play it. I need to see it.
it's on Steam. It's
It's
on
on
Steam actually.
Steam. Okay, let's send me through the link and I will try it out later.
I
Okay, let
send
me
you the
know.
link, but
Okay.
don't spread it. Don't share it.
Okay, 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 okay. I want. I want. Okay.
Actually, I'm nearly joking. It's fine. You can do whatever you want. I send you the link,
Thank you.
but
Thank you.
I'm really not proud of it, and
But you tried,
I
right? And you finished, and you know your flaws. Like you had to rush, and you didn't realize how much time it would take. So you learned from it, and that's what
yeah
matters, in my opinion. It's a learning experience, right? What like everything in life is. So I don't blame you. I think that's the hard part about everything. Like you have to go through those like bumps, roadblocks in order to like learn and grow. And if you are willing to take the step to learn from those mistakes, I think it's worth it. Like,
Yeah, but I've learned so much about that game, but I'm not proud of that game, and I don't really think about it. It was kind of like
sorry
really
for
chaos.
bringing it up.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But yeah, and yeah. What was your question? I don't remember.
No, my question was just if it's
Yeah,
available. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's available on Steam.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. I will
and
try it out. I will try it out. Okay, okay.
and it was at the time. It was 10 years ago, and at the time, Steam they had you couldn't get your game. I don't know how it works now, but I made a Steam page for the game, and it was like they accepted me right away.
Okay.
But at the time, you had to be selected
Oh,
to
I
be.
didn't know that. Really?
I don't remember what was the name. There was a name of the process. Well, anyway,
Okay, 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 okay.
selected games. You couldn't get that your game right away on Steam, and
Interesting. I didn't know that.
it was really I was really surprised that they pick up my
But
game.
see, they picked up. That means something. See, that means something. Like
Yeah,
that
but then
means
when it was released, it was destroyed by in the reviews and stuff. It was destroyed. It was I so and it's not that good, really, really. I had I did everything wrong with that game. But well, I send you the link. You would try it, but
it's
don't tell me what you
so
think about
it's
it.
so easy for people to be harsh about games. Like I don't
Yeah,
know why they are doing that. Like that's what I like about my shows and about my guests who are very honest like you and everyone was so far in my shows, that they tell these stories and people can see their and hear their stories about how like they had a really like bumpy road journey with being a game developer, right? Because it's not easy, and when like people judge, it's always easier to sit on the judgment side of things, right? Not to create but judge. And I think it's very bad that people are like harsh about it, because like yeah, it's a launched game, you have the option to judge, but still like don't be harsh about it, because it can ruin people's careers, in my opinion. Like I said before, it
yeah,
we saw a lot of like examples for this one, like people stop their career as a game developer just because their first game flopped and or bumped into roadblocks and was not that good for people, not that appealing. So yeah.
yeah. But actually, I when I did that first game, I was thinking about doing a second game on my spare time because
I
it was
see.
all done on my spare time at the time, and I didn't. I was so disgusted. But it's not about the people were really harsh with that game, but I did many mistakes too. So,
I see.
uh, 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 but I was disgusted, and that's why I didn't make. It was 10 years ago, so for 10 years I didn't make any games. Well, I programmed the
It makes me
but I
sad to hear this story, because like if people probably would not be that harsh, you might not
yeah,
learn from that mistake, but also you might be ending up like making new games, right, and learning from those. So it's like I don't know, it's there should be like a middle ground of people forming their opinions, in my opinion, not be so harsh. I'm always saying this because like they don't realize how they can really change people's lives by it, by just being a dickhead and spamming that your game sucks, right? So it's like stupid to me. Form your
yeah,
opinion
yeah,
in a normal way, in a much more polite way. Say how a developer can like evolve their skills or evolve their game, but it's still better than be harsh and just say your game sucks, right? Because it's not helping, right? At the end of the day,
yeah,
you want to know how to evolve, right, as a person and as a developer, if they are not telling you like advices.
yeah. Or just don't say you can, or just don't say anything. If you just feel that you're
Yeah,
gonna insult,
exactly,
just don't say anything and just scroll to the next tweet. You don't have to
exactly,
say.
exactly.
But yeah, yeah. People are there's also there's something. Sometimes I see in, for example, on X, I see people saying, "Oh, this game is badly programmed. The programmer should be fired, or the artist, the animation sucks. The animator should be fired." But on big games, like big triple A
Triple
games,
A.
but they don't understand. And me, I've lived this. Sometimes you've got a producer. There's a guy who pays a team to make a game, and he pays you like basically the amount of money is you're gonna do this in like 2 days. So most of the time you don't have the time. They for what they pay you, you don't have the time because you then after that you got to find another job and another job. You can't allow if they pay you for 2 days, you will have to work 2 days, and most of the time they give you a task that can't be done in 2 days. It happened to me a lot of times in video games or in animation stuff. They don't want to put the money and they don't want to put the money, so you don't have the time to do the stuff, and then you have to rush it, and then you have to do it badly. Sometimes you don't have a choice, you have to rush. And but the fault is not the programmer or the artist,
True, 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 true. Very true.
it's the producer, it's the guy who pays. That's the guy who is at fault here.
True,
And
true, 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 true.
so yeah, so most of the time people are insulting the wrong person.
Yeah,
It's not
exactly.
yeah, it's the fault of the guy who gives the money to make to make the game.
True,
And
true,
well,
very
anyway,
true.
that's
No, I agree with you on that, and that's why I'm saying is that if people do not see behind the curtain, but they still end up being like so harsh with their judgment and forming opinions about others and blaming others, it will like it could really end their career. Like you said, your example in life as well, that it took you like 10 years to get back to make a game again. Like it really shows that there are these examples, and I'm that's why I'm saying it's people really have to be educated in like understanding others, right? Because the real problem is that I always say this with like joking it, but it's true that people think that it's just one click, and the game is made. No, it's not. It's made by human beings, just like if you make bread or you make food on the table that you can eat. So it's pretty much the same. It's like people making it. You have to understand it. And if yeah, it's okay to like form opinions about it, but don't be like that harshful, because it won't help. It won't help if you will say 20 times or 100 times that this game sucks. It won't help. At the end of the day, you cannot change. Either start to learn art, learn programming, and understand how really hard it is to like be good at it and deliver it, not just be good at it. Because like you said, even if you understand the territories and you have talent for it, you still have to rush sometimes, right? Because people
yeah,
saying time, 1 day, 2 days, and you're done. And if you're not finished, you won't getting any money. So people do not understand it, and it's like you can fuck with freedom, but you won't have freedom in those type of examples of life, right? When others telling you that you have to rush and you have to live, you have to play the wheels. So it's a constant like struggle, like you said before. And yeah, I
yeah,
appreciate your honesty, by the way, about that. Really appreciate that.
no, but it's just plus that in video game it's really known that there are crunches,
True,
like
true,
period
true,
of time where you have to really rush, rush,
true,
rush, rush, rush,
true.
and
Sometimes it
from
helps. Like I saw some companies and some solo developers who was telling me when we talked about with them that sometimes crunch really helps, but it's not healthy, right? At the end of the day, so people
yeah,
can lose their health as well by crunching.
yeah, and most of the time when you work in video games, well, uh, people who I've known a bit. Well, you have met a lot of people who work in video games, and generally they are really passionate people.
True,
And so, and I think that what most of the time they probably do extra hours
true,
that are not paid, probably because they are so passionate
true,
that and they
true,
want to do stuff. And I think that producers knows that and play on that because they know that have passionate people, and the well anyway. I think that they take advantage of that
true, true,
too
true,
most
true,
of the time.
true, true. Yeah,
So yeah,
sadly,
it's really a video game. It's really not. It's really complicated. It's really hard and it's really complicated. And but it's really fun too.
true, true, true.
So
Happily, there is fun, right? So happily,
yeah,
it would be really sad if there would be no fun part. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Okay, before I ask some more questions, because I have some more questions, are you down to answer some questions from my chat as well, from my community?
yeah, yeah.
Nice, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, let us know, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions. I'm losing my voice here, sorry. Kiro is saying that, damn, I just look at your works on your website, Yohann, and I'm speechless. Wow. Kiro is also saying that today we bitch about everything, mostly with games. We don't know how hard it is, etc. We're just waiting, and when we get the game, it's not like what we wanted or not work how we wanted to start. It's all crap. Yeah, because it's probably, in my opinion, because like people have too high expectations about everything in life, and if they are not meeting those, if something or someone is not meeting those expectations, they start to, like Kiro said, bitch about it. But I always joke with this that people do not understand what a good game is for them. Like a lot of people are saying, I want my game, or at least this game or that game that they are waiting for, to be good, right? But if you ask at the end of the day them what is a good game or what the meaning of a good game is, they won't be able to answer it. Most of them.
Yeah.
And I had those conversations with a lot of friends of mine when they were like having these high expectations for a game that they were waiting for to be good. And I asked them, okay, good, but what is a good game for you? How it should be good? And they were like sitting in like silence. And they were like, I don't know.
Yeah, and everyone is expecting something
Yeah,
different
but they
from.
don't they cannot describe it, right? And that's the hard part. If you cannot describe what a good game is, how games will meet your expectation, you will always
Yeah,
like see people like saying this game sucks because those games will never meet their expectations, which they cannot describe, right?
yeah,
So it's
yeah, yeah.
basically
That's
that.
totally.
And you, in my opinion, also like art and having a story is not something that like can be described as with expectations, right? Because like what how would you describe a game is good for you, right? So at least that's why I'm always saying that people, players in general, should really like focus on what they want from a game. Like, is it the gameplay? Is it the musical score? Is it the, if it's a multiplayer part, then for example a gunplay to be good, or the story? So they have to understand these segments that are, you know, combined together in the game and choose what they are playing for. Is it the gameplay? You want the gameplay to be funny or fun or to be immersive, or is it the story that drives you to play through a game, right? But it's I see that a lot of people are like ending up not realizing these parts of the games and just wanting to games to be good. But okay, what is a good game for you, right? So we
Yeah,
are still at that conversation, so it makes no sense for
yeah,
me. Yeah, yeah.
me, I've played a game, Leslie. It's a really bad game. Well, I played the last Fairy Tale game on the PS4.
Okay, okay,
It's
okay,
really, it's a bad RPG.
okay,
But I don't know the anime. It's from an anime. It's based on an anime, but I
okay,
don't know the anime.
okay.
And I played that game, and I knew that it was, well, not bad, but it's really clunky
I
and
see,
it's
I
really
see, I see,
limited.
I see, I see,
But I I enjoyed it a lot for the story.
I
There was
see.
only the story and the characters. It was pretty good, and I liked it. But I knew that the gameplay was not really good,
Yeah,
and
yeah, 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 yeah,
sometimes there were glitches and stuff. But
yeah.
it was nice. So you can also like a game for just a small part of the
Small
game,
part, exactly, exactly, exactly.
depend of your expectations.
Exactly, 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 exactly.
Oh,
Yeah. It's like people, right? So we want like everything in others, right? So you have to realize what you are down to be to stay for that person, right? So it's probably pretty much the same with games. You have to realize what your drive is in games, right? So yeah. Oh, there is a question also. Um no, there are actually two questions. How do you find motivation in art? How you are not burnt out? Or have you ever been burnt out in the process of making art? That's the question from Kiro from the chat.
so this, yeah, me, I'm the kind of guy, I can't draw like this. I can't draw for fun, you know. If I've got a piece of paper, I'm not gonna draw. I need to have a bigger. I need to have a project.
I see.
It needs to serve a purpose.
I see. I see. I see. I see.
So I always have maybe a comic, or a game,
I see.
or maybe I've got to maybe it's just money because then somebody's gonna pay me, so I'm gonna draw. But I don't draw like this just for fun.
I see. I see.
It's
I see.
weird. I've seen people who are surprised by this, but I need something else. The drawing, the art is a way to achieve a goal.
I
Actually,
see.
I think I mostly like to tell stories
I
and
see.
create
I see. I
characters,
see. I see. I see. I see.
and that art is a way to accomplish that.
I see. I
So
see.
the thing is, I always have a project. I always have a
But
project
it makes
somewhere.
sense because you are it's the storyteller in you, right? Like you reflect it to the RPG that you are making about the war situation in real life. So it makes sense at the end of the day that ARP is helping you getting towards your goals of making this story happen in a video game form, right? So yeah,
Oh, it might be an emotion. Sometimes, yeah, I wanted, I was, or something, a political statement. It's just a way to tell something,
I
actually.
see, I see, I
Um,
see, I see.
So maybe sometimes I think that if I had the opportunity, or if I had the way to do it, and maybe I might have been a movie director. I could have done that.
You
The,
still
the,
can,
the,
right? Who knows? Who knows? You still can.
it's a bit too late. I'm a bit too, and
No,
I
never say that. Never say
can't
that.
have the camera all shaky like that. I can't hold the camera, so that's not possible. But yeah, but I think it's just the art is not an end in itself. That's what gets me motivated. Is because I've got a goal at the end,
I see, I
and
see.
I've never been burnt out, and I draw a lot. Like for 5 6 years, I don't think there's a day except when I'm on holidays. There's not a day when I'm not drawing something, but always for something else, for to achieve something.
True,
So
true.
yeah, that's how I'm not burnt out. Is because I have projects, I have ideas, I get goals,
You're
and if I
always
didn't have any project or goals, I wouldn't be drawing. I
true,
would,
true, 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 true. You're always
but I
constantly thinking of something that can pull back you to art, right? So that's how you are not burnt out, and that's also the passion that drives you. So it makes sense at the end of the day.
but in between projects, some when I finish a project, generally, I don't have any idea. Sometimes I've got ideas, but sometimes I don't have any
I
ideas,
see.
and I don't draw, and I'm really depressed. So I need to find a new project
See,
quickly.
you miss the project. That's what I was talking about. That's the passion in you about those projects and telling stories. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a kind of a drive. You need a
True,
drive. You
true,
need
true,
something to drive you.
true, 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 true,
And
true,
it's really
true.
easy. Once you've got the drive, it's really easy. You
True,
just
true, 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 true. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so that's what I do.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the question and the answer as well. Thank you. Okay, there is also another question from Kiro. Uh, oh yeah, Kiro was asking. Also, I don't know about the new game, so can I get some little lore about it? But we were talking about it. Yeah, yeah, we were talking about it before. So yeah, yeah. But if you want to add something to the lore question for Kiro's question, feel free to do that. Like the new game's lore story.
What about the story? I think no, that's fine.
Okay, okay, okay,
I
okay.
like to do characters. I think I try to do. I like to. If you love, I think what I like is to do really lovable characters, lovable designs, and a beautiful world. But that's all I have to add. On the story department, that's all I got to add.
Yeah. Okay. 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 So a more personal question from me again would be: how have you changed as a person in other territories of your real life from being a game developer for all those years? If you have changed in any direction. If not, of course that's fine. I'm just asking if you have changed how. If you could name any examples, if you changed in any way, in any direction or territories in your life from being a game developer.
I think, well, not much,
Okay.
but maybe I'm when I it's just so it's my second game, and when I what I realize is that every time I'm making a game, I'm getting really obsessed about it. So I think maybe it's changed because uh, at one point when I was not making video games, when I'm not making video games, I'm quite a party guy a bit. Not that much, but I like to go out and get drunk and stuff. And maybe now I'm more when I'm making a video game, I'm more settled down
I see, I see, I
because I
see.
know that if I do after a night out, it needs me like 2 days where I can't program, I can't do anything.
I mean, you
I
can,
don't.
but in a drunk mode, right?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I'm come back from a party and then I go programming and then just I sometimes I do that, but it's really bad generally. So I don't do that anymore, and I go out less. But no, I haven't changed that much.
I
I must
see,
say.
I see, I see, I
Maybe I'm
see.
more logical, maybe, but I don't know.
I see, I
Not
see,
that
I
much.
see, I see. Okay. You also mentioned that you do music as well. You compose music. Do you play any instruments, or you make music with the help of
I play
programs?
the
Or
bass. I play the bass, and I've got a
oh,
synthesizer.
okay, nice, 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 nice.
So
I see.
uh, yeah, I played bass from like 16 years old.
Okay,
I've got a band.
okay.
Uh, I'm in a tribute band for The Cure.
Oh, nice, 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 nice,
And so yeah, and I've been in many bands. I've always played music. So
nice.
yeah, yeah. And actually, the synthesizer is I before I was mostly doing music with the bass, and well, I was programming with Cubase. And but the synthesizer is I bought it like 1 year ago, and
I
it's
see.
really a game changer.
I
It really
see.
helps. And I'm not really a good synthesizer player, but it really helps for writing music and stuff. So yeah, I've got these two instruments. Yeah, that's all I've got, and
Nice,
it's
nice,
fine.
nice, 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 nice.
But it's really it's time consuming. But you do also, since I do everything in the game. You change a lot too. Sometimes I do programming. Sometimes I do graphics. Sometimes when I feel bored, when I feel I'm a bit
You can
burnt out,
always
I just
switch, right?
you can always switch to a different
True, true,
area.
true,
So
true, true,
that's really nice, and it helps a lot.
true, 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 true.
If I would do only programming, I think I would go crazy. Like really, I would go mental with just I will be thinking about it all the time and stuff. It will be I would be a mess. So it's really nice to be able to change, to switch sides and stuff.
True, 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 true. Do you think, by the way, that you by now that you started making games in the past years and also making art as a career, not just a hobby, do you think like you found yourself by these two things and also like combining all your passion into projects, like you said? Do you
Yeah, yeah,
think
yeah.
like you are in the really right spot now in your life that you're enjoying your life much more?
Hey, that's the perfect spot.
Okay.
That's perfect. All right, that's really a dream. But as I said,
The struggle,
it,
right? The struggle comes with it.
that's
Yeah.
the bad part. And actually, it might not last forever. I may have to change.
I hope so. I hope so it will last because like you're talented in so many things. So
Thank you.
and
But it's
people love what you do. I saw I was scrolling down like your Twitter page when I like first discovered you on Twitter, and I remember that I was scrolling down and seeing people's reactions really made me happy that they care about your project. It's not just me who
yeah, that's
cares
some
about
really
it.
good reaction.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but you know, you see, uh, I think it's if you want you need more than that. I mean, commercially, I think
True,
I'm
true.
still not commercially viable right now. So
I
that's
mean, I
the
wouldn't say that as to your game because I feel like your game is already like the level of being commercial, at least in my opinion.
yeah, but uh, the question is, will it sell? Because
It's
it's really
always the
easy to.
question, right? It's always the question. But it's I always say this that like we discussed it throughout a lot of like dev life episodes of mine that I feel like it's not always about like if it's appealing to people, but it's rather than like the promotion or promoting the games itself. Because I feel like there's so many games, like especially on Steam, there are so many games that are releasing. Since that fact, I feel like if there is a game that is not promoted well enough and cannot get to the audience or the people, it will like less likely sell a lot, like, right? So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's really like the one side which really matters is the promotion, because I saw games that were like not quite dead, like, very high level games in my opinion, but they sell good. And that's the reason for that was like because there was like PR company behind that game and promoting for everyone, like everyone started to play that, right? So it's like the more people know about your game, the more likely more people will buy it, right? So, and if you just, I don't know, you are promoted to 10 people and maybe only one will buy it, so it's like less people, right? Less money. So it's
yeah, but
understandable. It's simple math, right? So
yeah, but actually, yeah, as you said, promoting the game is really important now,
true.
and but you can't. I would like to spend more time. I could do plenty of stuff to promote the game, but I don't have the time actually.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand
Uh,
that. You have so many things to
yeah,
do for your
you
project.
have to
It's understandable.
sacrifice time to promote the game, and
True.
that's annoying
True.
because I don't feel like I'm promoting enough, and it's as you said, it's really
It's
important.
important, sadly. Sadly, I would say it's very interesting because it ties up with the topic that you mentioned. That before you started making this game of yours, with the first game, you had to be approved on Steam. I didn't know that, by the way, and I think
Yeah.
I think that like that option should be still available at in some point, in some case, because there are like, I'm not saying they are like bad games or anything, but there are these, for example, just to bring an example of games that I think should not be available on Steam or on consoles, is those there are like these series of like jumping food games. Like the whole game is about just pressing one button, and like you are getting scores for jumping. I don't know, with a hamburger or a French fries or a fish. They are basically food, and the whole franchise has like, I don't know, 800 games, like all foods you can jump with, and people go mad insane by those games because there are achievements, right? So basically those games are sold
Yeah,
for
yeah, the achievement.
achievements. Yeah, so basically those games are just bought by the people who are achievement hunters, which makes sense at the end of the day. But in my opinion, like those games should be not like commercial games, or at least should be released on phones with ad features, and in my opinion, because like I'm not saying that those games take away opportunities for people like you, because it's not, you couldn't compare, and you shouldn't compare a game like yours with theirs, like, right? Because it's not the same level. Your game is here and their game is, in my opinion, is here. So it's like it's crazy. It would be crazy to compare, but still I feel like people, if they see so many games nowadays, they are more likely not to take the steps in order to educate themselves on a much higher cultural level about games, to read about games, to get to know which game is coming out when, right? I know about myself that I'm passionate enough that I'm always like browsing, searching about games, always trying to, get within the release dates where this game is going to be out. So I'm can be on the lookout for that game and play and try it out and play it through. And I'm always doing that, but I know a lot of people are not like that, and you can't force them, of course. But if you like scale down the amount of games that are coming out, like in, I don't know, 1 month or 1 year, like I think also, in my opinion at least, if there would be like I wouldn't say restriction, but like helping hand, let's say, from Steam or from these pages, which like understand the market. Since they understand the market, they tell that, for example, you shouldn't release your game around this time because it won't sell that much, and you should release your game next month because it will sell, I don't know, much more, right? So it makes sense. And since not every developer are aware of these things, like for example, if you are building a strategy game that you should I don't know, release your game in strategy months, or not with the release of other strategy games, right? Because then you will have to compete with those. So these little aspects matter, and these little aspects can boost like the selling uh, amounts, like, and
Yeah,
also the people
actually,
that are love the game.
so there are two things. So the games you are talking about, the food. Actually, there are companies who I've seen that the release. Actually, it's always the same game, and
Exactly.
they change a few assets, a few graphical
Exactly.
assets with the same code, but they
Exactly.
just change a small
And
thing,
it's a
and then
two
they release.
dollar game or a $1 game, and people buy it for
Yeah.
like getting achievements. It's crazy
So
to me. Like,
this is a bit. I mean, this is it's nearly it's a bit weird, but well,
yeah,
and but there are many companies who do that.
exactly.
So that's the second thing is that there's one good thing with Steam. So the selection before, I don't know, there was a name. Everybody was talking about that name. It was a program. It was a I don't remember. Never mind. So there was a selection before on Steam. Maybe it's still on. Maybe they let me out because I had already released the game, or I don't know. Maybe it's still on. I don't know. But the selection is quite good because at least now there are just too many games. There's just too many games. You go on Steam, you got plenty of games. You got too much. And if you release a game, so I will talk about my first game. So my first game, when I released my first game, the first month, it was on the front page of Steam every day.
I
So
see.
that's really good. I don't know if they do that again, but it's really good and it helps the game sell a lot.
True. True. True.
And
True.
I released the mobile version on Android.
True.
And on Android, on the Android shop, it doesn't appear on the front page. And there's a new game section in Android. When you go there, when my game was released, it was not even appearing there. And so on Steam, I've sold around 2,000, I think, yeah, 2,500 units on Steam of my first game.
I see.
On Android, I've sold 10 units. 10 units. That's crazy because nobody knew
Yeah.
that my game
Yeah.
was out.
Yeah.
Because Android, the Android shop, they
Yeah.
didn't sell the game.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Sadly, and they do not have interest in it. A lot of like, I feel like I had a discussion about it with a lot of developers that some promotion like management teams do not have the not the vision, but like the drive to promote games. They just do it for like their job to get money, but they are not interested in like really helping. And it's bad because I feel like how to say it, there should be really like restrictions in the marketing side of games, because like in order to be able to work with just those people who really care about promoting, right? And you have to find those people. So in my opinion, nowadays it's very easy to get into a PR company or work for PR, because if you're passionate about your project, you will end up working for a PR, which is great. But at the end of the day, I saw so many like PR people failing in this section of PR because they were there, but they weren't doing anything, right? So they were promoting a game here and there, but they weren't passionate. And I'm not saying all PRs like that or all marketing companies are like that. I'm not saying this because I met so many nice people in the marketing field as well. But I met some people who were like, uh, I don't know, let's say weird with their work, like wasn't like really passionate about it. And I think also what could help at least is that in video game journalism, I feel like the very wrong way is that, or very wrong method of like people are like still going for AAA games and don't care about indie. Mostly most video game journalist websites, which is really weird because like they write news about indie games, but they do not write reviews about indie games, right? So for me it's like very weird to see, because like a lot of people say that they, oh my god, they are hardcore gamers, they are passionate about games, but if you talk with them, they will just say one game that they like or love and play for 10 years. Come on, 10 years, and they play the same game, right? And there are thousands of games releasing, and they do not care about it. And they are hardcore gamers, and they are passionate gamers, and they have love for the video game industry. No, they don't. In my opinion, these people do not have, because they stick to one fucking game. Sorry for saying this harsh, and they do not care about others. But if you will offer them money, for example, they will of course promote the game. That's stupid, right? Because the passion should be out there. Because you have to realize that in order to grow in every society standard as a human being, and also helping grow, promoting games so people can earn more money and be stable in their job in order to like having more games. That's what players do not understand, that like that comes down with like not just the video game journalism itself, but also like the pirating stuff. For example, here in Hungary, people still like a lot of them pirate games. Even there are huge Steam sales, right? And they are like so selfish that they are like not willing to pay $1 or $2 for a video game collection, right? It's stupid, right? Because they do not realize that it's just $1, right? And if you're not good, like if you're not good with that, paying $1 for a game, it's fine, but don't pirate the game because you're ruining the industry, right? So all these segments that I mentioned really like help destroying the industry for the worse, because like it really shows that people want games, people play games, but people do not care about supporting them in any way. And it's crazy to me. There are of course a lot of people who support, like me and you and others. I'm not saying it's like that bad, but it's still like if you could bigger up the numbers of people really caring about games, not just playing and smashing buttons and skipping the cutscenes, what a lot of people do, right? Buy a game and then skip the whole true story and then write a review that this game sucks. Yeah, man, because you should probably not skip the story part, right? Or understand the story. So there are so many small segments that I saw throughout my years of being a video game journalist, being a Twitch streamer, caring about games, talking with people about games. And I think if all these segments people could evolve for the better and educate themselves in for a more higher cultural level of understanding video games, developers probably did not have a problem promoting their games anymore, because people would care and people would like me read about games, get to know about games, talk to developers like I do now. And that should be important, right? So it's like that. If you
Yeah,
are
but
if you are caring to like not being hungry at the end of the day, what you go down to the road to the closest shop and buy bread, right? So it should be like that with like social in the social
yeah,
media, with the help of social media and internet. You have all the information right now. So it's like, why then people get lazy about it suddenly, right?
it's because it, actually it's the sign. Well, I have to plug myself because I don't
It's
have
okay,
it.
it's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
It's the actually it's the sign that video games are a big industry now.
True, true,
So
true, true, true,
that's
true.
that's what happens to every big industry, like the
True,
movies and
true, true,
stuff.
true, 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 true. It
But
outgrows itself, we could say. Yeah, yeah, sadly.
wait, just a bit.
Yeah, sadly. But like I said,
I'm plugging.
I still have hope that it will or there will be like a change for the better in at some point in the future, because I feel like there are more people coming together who really have passion for video games and who really wants to support developers, because they understand that by the support, like their support matters at the end of the day, right? So it's like not that developers have ultimate money income and then they can like do whatever they want with making video games, but it's really like they have to earn.
Wait, just one moment. I've got a problem with my phone.
It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. But it's a real problem because, but it's every art in every. Actually, when it's now it's on every art department. That's how
True,
it works.
true,
So
true,
it's the
true,
same for comics. Now it's all about promotion. I think that's the bad part. It's all about promotion.
true.
And if you got no promotion, it's like releasing a Picasso painting in a cave. If nobody knows it exists,
True,
it doesn't matter. It's like you're doing nothing. So,
true, true, true,
but
true.
I think I really don't think it's gonna get better. Like I'm really sorry. I don't think it's gonna get better. It's
No,
just I think it's the I think there's something that appears now is the niche. It's the is that people are really passionate. For example, personally, I'm mostly interested in tactical games,
I see.
and I tend to buy. There aren't that many tactical games, and well, there are a few, but not that much compared to other genres. And I tend to buy a lot of them because I like that.
I see.
So I think that's how it's gonna work now. You're gonna do it. It will be mostly by genres and yeah. I don't know. It's complicated.
True,
I
true,
really
true.
don't know what to think about that.
True,
It's
true.
just, but it's sad. I think it's a
It is.
sad situation.
It is. It is. It is. But like
But
I said,
it's the
no, go
yeah,
for
yeah.
that. Go
Tell me.
for that. Go, go for that. Go for that. Sorry.
It's just the sign that video games have become
True, true, true,
a mass entertainment
true,
thing. It's
true,
not it's for everyone now. It's public, so
true,
that's what happens when it gets so big, and it's really big because uh, I remember that I've been doing comics and a few comics, and just a few people call me to interview me about comics. But as soon as you announce a game, you've got plenty of people, well, not interviews, but who ask for game codes, for reviews
true,
and stuff. People are really interested
true,
in video games. People are crazy about video games
true, true, true,
nowadays. And maybe it's going to change with something else in like 10, 20 years. But right now, video games, it's the main entertainment in the world.
true, true, true,
So that's why so there is a lot of money and there are many big companies. So so you can't really compete,
true,
and there's not much competition because of that.
true,
So
true, true, true,
so yeah, but it's a sad state.
true, very true.
But I think you can still make something out of it.
True, true, true. And I believe that all those people who were like working as a solo developer or small teams, they eventually in the future will come together because I can see this like a wave of like people who get fires from AAA companies and coming together and forming their own studios and having always their own ideas, and now they can build it. And I feel like it's really that that's when video game industry was at its golden age, then like it started to destroy itself, and now it's forming together again to be like a very second golden age, let's say, by not just having all these people making games and all these people playing games as well as players and developers coming together, but now really like forming those big AAA companies, because there's so many news about like indie devs and like AAA fired people, but still want to work on games coming together and forming AAA companies now. And I read about it, and there are like at least 10 or 20 companies that are forming AAA companies now from indie and solo developers and also AAA professionals. And I think that there will be a time when like people will realize that they have to like form units and also like come together again to like make these very big games that they dreamed of, because I'm sure that a lot of indie developers are also wanting to work on big games like you, right? You mentioned that as well, that you want to make these big games and you want to making big games. So I think that there will be a time when like even if it's a solo developer, even if it's like a AAA company made by indie developers before, they will start making these big games, and without like making any safe play, but they will take the big risk like they did before, because they knew how to start a project with a risk. And that's what in my opinion will help grow the industry, because nowadays it's like mostly only the indie scene which is taking risk, right, with very unique ideas. And that's why people support the indie scene more nowadays and not AAA that much, because there's so many like safe plays in the AAA industry. We had to talk about it a lot of like times at my dev live show. But yeah, like I said, I still can see the change. It's just a slow, very slow process. And also like I think that at the end of the day we need to like educate like players to understand what we were talking about before with you, to educate players in a way that they really have to like see behind the curtain and understand that developers are just human beings like players, right? So they are not aliens, or I don't know, they are not like super men's or women's who are like, you know, one press a button and the game is done in 1 year or one second. It's just, it's hard work. Like you have to accept that it's hard work, just like yours, just like mine. Everyone's work is hard, and you have to accept that it takes that's why it takes so much time and so many years to finish a project.
Yeah, actually, I didn't heard about that, about developer, well, programmers coming together to
Yeah,
make AAA
recently there are so many companies coming together, by the way.
games.
Yeah, because there was like a huge wave of people getting fired from all the AAA companies recently in this year and last year. And now I read so many, like, there's a website that is collecting data about like newly formed like companies, AAA companies, and indie studios as well. There are so many companies that are coming together by just 5 or 12 people from all the AAA people that they were fired, or they, like, you know, they left their job because they wanted to make their dream game, and also from the indie scene. So it's like basically people coming together from AAA and indie into one place now. And I think that will really change the industry again. And I think I can't even see a future where like indie will grow into AAA. I'm not going to lie to you. I really feel with honesty that there will be a time again when there will be like, there will be indie always, but it will still grow out to the AAA industry again. So those who are like indie developers now, they will grow out to those big people, you know, who are like AAA managers or CEOs of their own company. I can totally see that. It just takes time. It might be like 5 years, 10 years from now, who knows? But I can see
Yeah,
that
but you
totally.
may be right. But actually, it's a really good thing. I didn't know that, and I didn't think
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
there are
But
a lot
that's
of
really,
companies now. Yeah,
really
and there are a lot of companies doing like even play tests for players. Like you can join their company as a playtester and help their game grow.
yeah. Because but actually, you may be right, because actually, what I see is all the bad buzz of the, these last AAA game which are coming out and which are all buggy, and the DLC practices, the loot boxes and stuff. There are many, the video game company, the big video game company, are really like, they are doing too much. Like they are ripping people off, and I think that some gamers are really getting annoyed about that. Are really, they will look for something else.
Yeah,
So maybe there might be something,
yeah,
yeah.
but still, at the end of the day, like you said, it's probably because like those people who work in AAA companies have to rush their things, right? So I'm sure that those people who are working in these AAA companies, they don't want a game to be bad, right? They want their game to be
Yeah.
successful. So yeah, yeah.
But yeah, but actually I have a friend about that. I have a friend who was working on the last Pyro game.
Okay,
It was made by a French
okay,
company.
okay.
And he told me something that was, because he made me play that game, and it was really basic. It was really boring and stuff. And I told him, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do that and stuff? And he told me we had all these ideas. We had all these ideas,
Yeah,
but we didn't have enough money
yeah,
to put them all in. And
yeah,
so the game was really bland and boring. It
yeah,
was destroyed in
yeah,
reviews and stuff.
yeah.
But actually, the developers and the programmers, they had all the idea to make the game good, but they couldn't.
True,
They
true,
had
true,
to
true,
rush
true,
a half finished game,
true.
and I think people don't understand that.
True.
But
Very
well,
true, very true, very true. Yeah, that's why I was
maybe they.
saying that they do not see behind the curtain and they do not
Yeah, yeah.
understand the process of making games. And it's not always that people have freedom, especially in AAA companies, right? It's more of like you said, you have like a job to do, and you cannot put that much of freedom. And that's why I was saying that a lot of people who are working in these bigger companies, they will get annoyed by that fact in time. And I think that's the wave now. That's people getting fired from all those AAA companies, or get annoyed by the process of it, that they cannot deliver their own choice of freedom in the process of making games. And that's how these people come together and say, okay, fuck it, we are making our own company and we are making our own dream games. And they will be able. Funny thing is that what these heads of like very big companies do not understand, that if you do not please the people working under you and for you, they will leave, but they will have the knowledge to build their own companies. And if they are passionate enough and if they are brave enough, they will do that. And they might end up even being a bigger company, right? Because they have all the knowledge. So people really have to think about that. That's nowadays, if you lose someone important from a company, he might be ending up, or she might be ending up making her own his own company, and might be a bigger company, because people will be able to like take the first step in order to take risk. And that's what matters, because all the unique ideas and great games are there because of the risk of people. They are like, not, I'm the safe play mode, I will just listen to what players say and I will make a game for players. No, you have to take the risk, you have to have a vision and stick to that vision too. Like, you cannot sacrifice that vision just because you want a game to be appealing to people.
Actually, it's a bit the same in cinema. In the risk that they are not taking now. It's the
True.
nowadays people are not taking risks. Well, the
True.
big company, they don't want to take risks.
Yeah,
It's
because
like they don't want.
yeah, and I think that it's
They
because
like
like
play safe.
people who are just about the money, by being
Yeah,
most of the people, I wouldn't say everyone, because I'm sure that there are like cool people being the head of these companies, because we saw that there are some cool people, but those who are just very money oriented, they probably were with this idea where like, it's easy now, why should we like, not deliver, why should we deliver like risky games? We shouldn't, right? And in one way, I would say that there is a point in this situation where I tend to understand these people, because I've seen a lot of games being very risky with their stories, choice of their stories, and they were canceled by a lot of people, because like people were so mad that, for example, their favorite like hero in the game died, and they were unhappy with that. Last of Us Part 2 is a great
yeah, that
example
was
for
true. Yeah,
that. Like, people threatened the writer of the game, and it was a AAA game, come on, and it delivered, right? It's a beautiful, stunning, visually game, and also a great story, an immersive story, and the gameplay also. So, and still there were so many haters of this community who played the game just because their favorite hero died in the game, or they didn't like the ending. It's fine, you don't like it, but you don't have to threaten the writer of the game, right? Like, it's stupid. Like,
sick.
yeah,
That's just really sick. But
exactly.
that's a wow.
Yeah,
That's what we
exactly.
were saying before.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's what we got now. But you have
Yeah,
to deal with it. Actually, deal with it. It's just
true,
I
and
got
still
it.
like go for your passion and try to make a change. Yeah. Okay, before I will ask some closing questions, I will also ask my audience if there is any more questions. So let us know. Let us know if there is any question. Let us know. Let us know. Any question? Bármilyen kérdés, hölgyek, urak? Any question? Let us know. Okay, Kiro. Thank you for the 10 BTs, by the way. Any more question, ladies and gentlemen? Bármilyen kérdés, hölgyek, urak? Okay, if there is no more question, you, ladies and gentlemen, will be able to ask questions in the Discord. So, for my closing questions, first question would be, what would be your advice for people who want to start making games from all the experiences that you have now and had throughout the years of your life?
Well, so first you have to have an idea
Okay.
that you believe in.
Okay.
That's the first point. You have to be motivated, and must have a good idea that you believe in, like really, really, really much, to be motivated for quite a long time. And I'd say that there was a mistake that I've made with my first game, and that was really important actually. And I realized is that you must make your game from the end and not from the beginning. I mean that you have to program, to think about and program everything about the gameplay at the beginning. That's what I would say.
I see.
You do everything at the beginning and then you come down.
I see.
Because on my first game, I made so the first game was kind of a beat 'em up, a beat 'em all,
Okay.
and I did the first stage, and then I did a character who was punching people and the enemies, and then I made the enemies. Then I did a second stage, and then a third stage, and then I thought, oh, maybe I should add a level up system. So then I was adding a level up system, so I had to work
I see.
back on the previous stage and stuff. I was adding IDs as long as I was doing the game,
I see.
and it was really a mess. It was really complicated. It was really stupid, and now I think now I've done everything. Even if there are features that would happen late in the game, you program them from the start, and it's going to save you a lot of time. And think about everything at the beginning, and stick at one point. You say stop. I'm going to do all that stuff and stick to it and do it. And yeah, I think that's I think it's really important
I see.
because otherwise it's going to be a mess. And that's what I did in my first game. In my first game, I think halfway through, like if I've I've made it over one year, like 6 months in development. I added like a flying system.
Okay.
Like it began like kind of shoot them up, beat them all. Like it was just crazy. Don't do that. Don't change the genre of your game right in the
On
middle
the
of the
fly,
development.
right? You added the flying system on the fly.
It was really, really stupid. It was a really bad idea, and it was really a mess to reprogram everything. It was really stupid. I don't know what I was thinking
You
about.
were really cooking with all the recipes you had, right?
Yeah,
Or
I was trying stuff. I was just, yeah, let's go. So yeah, but mostly just you have to believe in what you do.
true,
That's
true,
just even if no one is believing in what you do,
true, true,
just
true,
believe in what you do. That's
true,
it.
true,
That's the
true,
main stuff. The
true.
main important thing.
Thank you,
You have
thank
to
you.
believe in what you do.
True,
And so because if you don't believe in what you do, you're gonna be demotivated
true,
like in
true,
2 months, 3 months, 4 months,
true,
and then you
true,
will have wasted time. So
true.
believe in what you do, and yeah, that's the main stuff.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Oh, there is a comment, by the way, by Nobel. I highly agree, and just like I said in my interview with you, you have to make the mechanics before you make the levels. That's what
Yeah.
Noah said. Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Even if it's a mechanic that would happen very late in the game, just do it right from the start.
True, true,
Do
true,
everything. I think all the gameplay must be done. The gameplay mechanic must be done at the beginning.
true, true, true,
It
true.
saves a lot of time, and yeah.
Okay, okay. So my last question would be, what would you choose? Is it the comics or is it making games? Because we were talking about it, and I know that comics are there in your heart with a special feeling and in a special place for you. What would you choose if you would have to choose? Of course, you don't have to, which is fine, but if you would happen to choose, I'm now the bad guy asking to choose, right? So you can blame me, but
That's a really hard question.
I
Really,
know,
really
I know.
hard.
It's always easier for me to ask than for me to choose. I would never choose. I can tell you that, but
Yeah, because making a comic, it's much easier and
okay,
much more. It's more fluid.
okay, okay.
But when you're making video games, so well, if you're doing a video games by yourself, like I do, you do music, and you've got some side stuff that's really interesting too. And the programming, I've got a weird feeling with programming is that I I've got a love-hate relationship with
I see.
programming. Is that I'm not crazy about it, but when you succeed to do something that you thought was impossible and that you thought that you wouldn't be able to do, or when you find why there's this bug, why a bug, what's the reason for this bug? Or when you think of a better way to do something, you've got such a feeling of accomplishment.
True.
It's like if you discover a mystery or a new thing in the universe, it's crazy. You've got feeling of accomplishment
True.
that you don't have in comics. So I don't know. I don't know. I think no. I would see myself. I would like to make video games. I would really love to make video games all the time
I see.
because it's really fulfilling. It's like crazy fulfilling.
I see.
Comics, it's the easier version,
I
but
see.
it's not as fulfilling as doing a video
Making
game.
games. I see. I see.
So I think I would I would choose the video games.
I
Yeah,
see.
but it's really also the thing is that doing comics is really time consuming, but it's not. It's less tiresome.
I see.
It's less stress. It's less stressful. Doing video games can be quite stressful when you've got a bug and that you don't find the bug, so, or you don't know why, where is that bug? Why is there that bug? You read your code and you don't find the bug. It can be really stressful because you don't understand why it's not working. And sometimes you can. It didn't this time. It didn't happen really, but I hope it won't happen. But sometimes you can spend like 1 week or 2 weeks with a bug and you don't know what that bug is. Where does it come from? You can't even make the bug happen. These are the worst bug. When the bug happen like every 10 every 10 or so playthrough, and there's no bugs, and then suddenly there's the bug. So you don't know really. There's no reason why there's that bug and you don't understand. That can be really stressful
I see.
because you know that this bug has to go and you don't know where it is. So yeah, it's different. But video games are more fulfilling. Yeah,
I
and
see.
at the end of the day, you really feel good when you've got a good video games that's you when there are no bugs and that you manage to do something that you thought that was not possible. That's really fulfilling.
True. True.
And that's it. Comics is the easy way to do stuff, and video games it's a harder path, but much more fulfilling.
I see. I
Yeah.
see. Thank you for that again. Like I said, I really appreciate your honesty about every topic that we discussed here. Is there anything that you would like to add that we haven't touched as a topic or we haven't talked about that you would like to talk?
No, I don't know. I'd say no. Do what you want. To try to do what as soon as you can. Try to do what you want, even if it's difficult. Even if people don't understand you. If you can, just try to do what you want in life. That's just the only thing I would say. And even if it doesn't last long, as soon as you accomplish something that's dear to you, it will be worth it.
True, true. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Thank you. And yeah, thank you for the questions and the comments in the chat. I also appreciate that. Thank you. So yeah, like I said, I will need some more of your minutes of stream, but thank you for your time again. I really, really
Thank you for
uh,
inviting me.
very thankful for your time and for your effort being here, and also for your honesty. It really means a lot for me. It was really an honor and a pleasure for me. And yeah, for those who were watching us live, thank you for tuning in. I'm losing my words here. Sorry for that. So yeah, thank you everyone who joined us
Thank you,
for
everyone in the
today's
chat.
live. And yeah, also be on the lookout for the game that our friend here is making. Hopefully soon there will be a Steam page so you can wishlist the game. I will share that in the Discord and my Twitter as well. And yeah, thanks everyone for joining us for today's live episode. You will be able to watch back as a VOD on Twitch and later in an edited version on YouTube as well. Enjoy your time and yeah, have a nice day or evening depending where